It is huge, it is absolutely massive. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would make some crafts inspired by my zodiac sign, which is Pisces. Yes, I was born on the 25th of February, so that makes me officially a Pisces. And it'll also be my birthday coming up soon, and it's going to be my 30th birthday. But technically, we all lose a year because of the pandemic, so I'm still 29. If you're going to wish me happy birthday, wish me happy 29th birthday, and if you wish me a 30th birthday, I will block you. I'm joking, I won't, but I'll be very upset because I just don't want to turn 30. But yes, Pisces is a water sign, I am a fish. So all of these crafts will be using colours like purples and blues and greens and all of that kind of stuff. And hopefully it'll feel kind of Piscean, if that makes any sense. So for my first craft project, I thought I would make some Pisces inspired resin coasters. So I just bought 4 geode shaped silicone molds online, and on 2 of them I poured in some epoxy resin that I'd already pigmented with some opaque white pigment, and I decided on the other 2 just to pour in the resin uncoloured, just transparent how it is. And then I just went to town with some alcohol inks and poured a shitload of them on top of this resin in lots of sea colours, watery colours, some purples, all the colours that scream Pisces. And then I just let them set. Now the thing is, if you're going to use alcohol ink with resin, sometimes you'll find that the alcohol ink kind of gravitates towards the centre. So as it's setting, I've gone in and gone around the outsides just so I haven't got like a massive gap. So fiddling with it as you go is kind of a thing you just do. And it's also a thing I wanted to mention because one of the crafts later on I don't feel has gone very well, and that's the reason why. But we'll get to that soon, we'll get to that later. Let's demold these resin coasters, see what they look like. Okay, so this is what they're looking like at the moment, and I was actually quite worried because these took way longer to set than they normally would, and I think that's because I used so much alcohol ink. Like, I think these are more alcohol ink than they are resin. But anyway, hopefully they've turned out good. Let's have a look. Oh, that's so nice. That's the white one, obviously. I'll have to show you some closer ups in a bit. Have a look at the others. Oh, that looks so cool. And that one's one that I hadn't pigmented the resin either. This one's got a little bit more purple. I must have used some different colours with this one. These have turned out so good. They look so nice. Ah, like, look how nice these are. They look so cool. The colours are just so nice. I am obsessed. I think these are some of the best coasters I've ever made. Like, with the back of the white ones, it kind of just looks like space or something, doesn't it? I definitely feel like it's got some sort of like astrological theme. Pretty happy with these. These have been a success. So while I was doing some research for this video for obviously Piscean craft ideas, I came across this little chart, and apparently there is a flower associated or a plant associated with every star sign. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know who made that up. Don't know whether it's real. It probably isn't. But for a Pisces, my plant is apparently an orchid. I did not know that. I quite like orchids. So I thought I would do something with an orchid. Now I will say this was a revised idea because I had a different plan for what I was going to make, but it wasn't going to be logistical or practical, or it just wasn't going to work. My original idea was to use polymer clay on the plant pot of this orchid I bought, but obviously you have to bake polymer clay in the oven, and I didn't realise that this plant pot that I bought with the orchid in is completely plastic, so it would just melt in the oven. So me, thinking on my feet, decided to change it up a bit, and instead of going for polymer clay, I decided to go for tissue paper. So I took a bunch of different coloured tissue papers in obviously the Piscean colours and decoupaged this plant pot, trying to make a seaside wavy kind of pattern on the plant pot, but I'm not sure whether this one's worked particularly well. So I did that, I left it to dry, and I've got this, and it just, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I just preferred it white how it was. I think if I'd used polymer clay and really built up some textures and some like wavy patterns with it, which was what I intended to do, then it would have worked better. But this was just a very last minute quick thinking idea, and that's what you get for a a quick thinking last minute idea. But it could have been worse. This could not have been a craft. We could have had one less craft in today's video. Maybe I should have, I don't know. But anyway, there we go, a Piscean decoupaged orchid plant pot. And don't worry, the orchid's artificial as well. It's not real because obviously it would die. Okay, so my next Pisces craft idea is a little bit far-fetched. It's a little bit out there, I'm not gonna lie. It must have come to us in a dream. But I thought I would create like a cocoon. So a space that I can actually enter and just kind of relax and chill. You know, I feel as a Pisces, we need quiet, just quiet time. We need quiet spaces. So I thought a nice quiet cocoon would be quite fitting. I feel anyway. I don't know whether any other Pisces feel this way, but I like quiet spaces. So I bought a giant hula hoop and an absolute shitload of tulle, and we are gonna make a cocoon that I can enter and get away from the world. I don't know, this is gonna be huge. I don't even know where to make it. I'll have to move some stuff around. Yay. Okay, so my idea is to cut this tulle into strips and then attach it to that so it kind of cascades down. But it's gonna go from the ceiling, so I need to figure out how long everything needs to be. I feel in over my head. I can already feel my cocoon. It's gonna feel great. I'll cut it to length first and then we'll cut it into strips. I also have a feeling I've bought far too much tulle. The thing is, this might look a mess. And it might look very chaotic, but I know what I've got in my head, and what's in my head looks great. Also, let me know if there are any other Pisces out there, or just what star sign you are. Surely I have other Pisces watching. This ends up being a terrible idea. I'm going to be very disappointed because this is a lot of work to go to, and I spent a lot of money on tulle. I did not think this fabric was as expensive as it is. I suppose when you're buying a shitload of it, ends up costing quite a bit. Just thought I could make a wedding dress out of this, couldn't I? It'd be a hideous wedding dress, but I could make one. I also have to say, I think this is a very original idea. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. Even though it's not done yet, but still. The problem is though, everyone's done everything these days. It's hard to make something completely new. Okay, I'm onto the last colour, finally. See, that could be a wedding gown. Like if you think about it, obviously a different shape, but look how much tulle that is. Okay, so now all I need to do is tie these into a knot around the top of this hula hoop, and then I think that should be it really. Pretty easy to do. Okay, I'm finally done. That took forever, and I've already added just a bit of string just on the top so I can hang it up. I hope it's not going to be too heavy. It is huge. It is absolutely massive. Oh, I think it's going to look great though. I'm gonna enjoy this space so much. I really need help. Not in that way, I just need help getting it up. I hope this hook supports it, I really do. Oh, yes. Oh, this is quite nice. I like it. I'm gonna bring you in closer. It touches the floor and everything. Look how cool that is. It kind of reminds me of, you know when kids have them things over the beds, like that netting? It kind of reminds us of that, but it's nice. Oh, I'm happy in here. Oh my god, it's like seriously, it is so cool in here. I'm gonna have to bring you inside. Okay, so this is like a point of view camera shot of what it's like to enter. And you just enter like this. Oh, yes. How nice is this? Doesn't it feel comfy? It feels like nice and warm. I wish you could kind of experience what it's like inside of here, like I can, but it feels right. This is where I belong. It's so comfortable and cozy. I might put this over my bed, you know. Is that too much? Am I too old? I don't think I'm too old. You can never be too old for things like this. So yes, I definitely think this is a successful Pisces craft. It feels right. I think if you were a Piscean, you would really enjoy it in here. It is lovely. It's absolutely delightful. I'm glad I made it. But before we move on to the next craft, which is a bit of a fail, I thought it'd be fun to see what the traits of a Pisces are and whether that kind of relates to me. So according to this website, the strengths of a Pisces are they are compassionate, artistic, intuitive, gentle, wise and musical. I would agree with that, apart from the musical bit. I don't think I'm very musical at all. And the weaknesses are they are very fearful, overly trusting, sad, desire to escape reality, can be a victim or a martyr. Sounds about right. Pisces likes being alone, sleeping, music, romance, visual media, swimming, spiritual themes. I like all of them apart from I don't particularly like romance, and I also can't swim, so I don't like swimming. But I absolutely love being alone. It's one of my favourite things in the world is to be alone. I know that sounds really sad, but I don't think I can possibly ever get lonely. That might sound very, very unusual to some people out there, or it might sound exactly like I've hit the nail on the head with some other people, but being alone is the best thing ever. I just love it. Pisces dislikes know-it-all, being criticised, the past coming back to haunt, cruelty of any kind. I'm not sure what they mean by know-it-all. I think it means like people who know it all, which is true. I can't stand them kinds of people. Being criticised. Unfortunately, yes, I would have to agree partially with that. Sometimes I struggle with criticism. I'm not gonna deny it. That is definitely a weakness. The past coming back to haunt. I don't know. I don't think anyone likes that really, do they? And cruelty of any kind. That's really true. I can't stand people being cruel to other people, to animals, to anything. Just nasty people in general, I hate it. So Pisces are very friendly, so they often find themselves in a company of very different people. Pisces are selfless, they are always willing to help others without hoping to get anything back. Pisces is a water sign, and as such this zodiac sign is characterized by empathy and expressed emotional capacity. Their ruling planet is Neptune, so Pisces are more intuitive than others and have an artistic talent. Neptune is connected to music, so Pisces reveal music preferences in the earliest stages of life. They are generous, compassionate, and extremely faithful and caring. People born under the Pisces sign have an intuitive understanding of the life cycle and thus achieve the best emotional relationship with other beings. Not very good with relationships, so I don't know. I agree with some stuff and I don't agree with other stuff. For the most part, I think that's a relatively decent summarization of how I am, apart from obviously swimming and musical. They don't ring with me at all. Right, let's move on to the next craft project anyway. So for this one, I thought I would do a resin tea tray similar to that one I've got up there, since that was such a success. But this time I wanted to create more of a beachy, seaside themed one. So I just took this little wooden tea tray that I bought online, and I also wanted it on an angle, so I put it on a bit of wood and then realised the angle was a little bit too steep, so I switched it to a pair of scissors and just poured different coloured resins into this tea tray to hopefully create some kind of wave pattern. And then once I got 3 different colours of blue down, I thought I would add some white alcohol ink over the top just to resemble kind of waves crashing. That's what I was going for anyway. And then I decided to add some pink mica powder because I thought that would be a great idea. It turned out to be completely pointless, but I sprinkled that over the top anyway, and then I just let that set. Once it was set, it was looking a little bit like this, and as you can see, I'd had a little play around with some more pigments and stuff. It looked a little bit different to what it had done, and this time I wanted to lay it down flat, and I took a bunch of different coloured sands and sprinkled them onto the other side of the tea tray, including a purple and black sand for some reason, and then poured an uncoloured epoxy resin over the top. And as you can see, it just kind of made the white sand completely disappear. I don't know why. So I sprinkled more white sand over the top in the hopes to get it back to what it was like before, and that just didn't happen. And I kept going and trying to fix it and just questioning what I should do with this thing because I wasn't happy with it. So I decided to go over it again with way more white alcohol ink. And then it kind of looked like that. And to be fair, I think if it had stayed like that, it would have looked fine. But because alcohol ink, like I said before, moves when the resin's setting, it all kind of shrank into the middle and just left like a line. So I poured some more alcohol ink on it when the resin was basically already set. I just left it too long. And I'm going to show you what it looks like, but it doesn't look good at all. It kind of looks moldy. So this is what ended up happening. And as you can see, the alcohol ink, these like dots here, didn't disperse, they just stayed where they were, and I just completely ruined it. I feel like I had too many ideas with this one, and I just didn't execute them very well. And you could of course put maybe a story or a narrative behind this and say that you're looking at a beach through clouds, but they don't even look like clouds, do they? It just looks like there's mold growing on my resin. So I would say this one was a fail. So this next Pisces craft idea is a very unoriginal idea, I'm not gonna lie, but I wanted to make it anyway because, well, I just did. So I just took a regular A4 bit of paper and a ball and drew around that ball with a pencil. I then took some black acrylic paint, and not only just some regular black acrylic paint, but one of the blackest acrylic paints you can buy, and just painted the entire circle black, trying to be as neat as I possibly could. I really wanted to be precise with this one, and I think I haven't done a bad job. I think that's looking very circular. Once that was dry, I just got up a picture of the Pisces constellation and just tried to plot them out as accurately as I could be with some white acrylic paint. Once that was done, I just connected it with white acrylic paint, and this is all done with a paintbrush. This is all free-handed. It was a challenge, but I don't think that's something too bad, but I did want to go back over the stars because my lines were a little bit too thick, so I just made the stars a little bit more prominent. I also didn't realise up until now how much the Pisces star sign looks a bit like a vagina. I've never seen one in person before, so I assume they kind of look similar to that. Let me know in the comments if that's what a vagina looks like. And then I was going to leave it just like that, but then I thought, it's looking too simple, it's looking far too boring. So I took some yellow paint and added loads of little stars into the background, some small, some big, and then I left that and put it to one side before I got way too carried away and the entire thing ended up covered in dots. Okay, so it's fully dry now and it's looking a little bit like this, and I definitely wasn't as accurate as I wanted to be, so I'll do a side by side of what the actual constellation looks like and my version, and it was a little bit off, but considering I freehanded it, I don't think I've done too bad. But I'm not done there because I bought this lovely distressed green, kind of like beachy, like driftwood kind of frame, and I thought that would look quite nice in here. Then I think that looks great. I think that's so cool. I'm very pleased with myself, and the fact that I free-handed all of that. It's not bad. It's not an original idea, but it's Pisces, and I like it. So that just about does it for me creating some Pisces-inspired craft projects. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And because I know only my most loyal subscribers and people who watch my videos will get this far into the video, it's time for a giveaway. Yes, I don't want any random people who just click on to get these. I want these to go to the people who watch my videos. Yous lot, because you deserve it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with my channel. So if you want to win one of these coasters, and I'm going to be giving away all 4 of them, even though I like them so much and I really want to keep them for myself, I decided you guys would probably appreciate them a lot more than I do. So if you do want a chance to win one of these coasters, all you need to do is leave a comment down below with either your Instagram handle or your Twitter handle, just so I can message you if you do win. And if you are going to enter, remember to keep an eye on your inbox and to check it, because last time I did a giveaway, 2 of yous, you didn't reply to us, so I had to give them away to other people, and I felt really bad because I obviously let 2 people down. So just make sure your information's right and you really check your messages, because I don't have time to chase people up. I'm sorry, I just don't. But anyway, I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!